So we'll pop some links in that chat, which is probably there or maybe there, I'm not really sure, just to support articles and how to submit a support ticket if we have a problem which is a bit too technical to go through during our 20 minutes or half an hour of the ride. So we might need a bit more information. You can shoot to a support ticket and I'll try and get on that tomorrow. But otherwise,
so I've popped in, we've got how to download FulGaz 4, which we'll talk to shortly. And then if you not sure how to use a promo code, there's a support article there. We'll also talk to that in a second as well. And then there's a link there for support tickets. So yeah, as Clem said, if we can't get your issue resolved tonight, because there's plenty of people online, which is awesome, we'll get to you over the next next few days. Obviously, the point of tonight was to do it with enough time before the event next weekend to make sure everyone's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, so we've probably got people from all around the world for this one. I think this was the time zone one for UK and US, I believe. And there's another one tomorrow morning. So I'll be up early and doing another one of these video chats tomorrow morning as well. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you have one from Norway also today.
Oh, nice, Norway. So give me a wave if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. So basically almost everyone. Okay. Good.
How many have participated today?
So we got. Oh, I can't see. Let me have a look. I'll have to move that. 5. So we've got about 25 or 30 odd on the video at the moment. And there's usually a few more that jump on the actual ride, but don't actually join the Zoom meet. So they'll just jump on the ride and they'll all be riding at the same time as we're riding.
Clem, can you make me host, please?
Yep. Pop you on there now. All right. Okay, I guess my version 3. Yeah, so Miles, you're probably on version 3. If you get a chance sometime before the event, try and download version 4. There's links in the chat there. We'll pop them up there again anyway, a bit later. Version 4 will give you access to the group-wide features. So you'll get that countdown. You'll see who's on course at the same time as you, and you'll see how far ahead or behind they are to you, and you'll see them on the little map. It's really cool. It's a really great feature. So if you do get a chance, download FulGaz 4, and you'll get those really, really cool ride features. But don't do it right now. Just do the version 3 ride tonight. Test your setup, make sure everything's working, and then sometime in the next couple of days, click on the links and download version 4 and give that a go too. So when Beck gets back, she's coming now, I'll hand over to her. She's going to start the presentation and go through a few bits and pieces. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
And yes, version 4 is available on iPad, also Apple TV, Windows 10, and Android. All right.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to go through a bit of a sort of more formal event briefing document. It's not as detailed as the rider manual that you guys will get later in the week from the team at Revolve24. But we picked the most important bits out of it for tonight and all that are relevant to the test ride that we're doing. So I'll take you through this. So as we were just chatting, so FulGaz 4 is on the cusp of being released to the general public. So you guys, sorry, 1 second. I've got a 4-year-old that wants to participate in this as well. Fun and games. All right, yeah. So basically, FulGaz 4 has got a whole bunch of new exciting features, which we'll take you through in a second. As Clem said, the most exciting of those is the ability to see who's on course with you at any one time. So bringing that social function to FulGaz. So you've got your on the screen on course leaderboards. as well as the countdown facility and a few other cool little bits and pieces. So if you don't have it for tonight, don't stress. You don't need to go and download it and muck around with that right now. We've posted in the chat box there the links to follow, depending on if you're using an Apple, Android, Apple TV, whatever it might be, iPhone, iPad. All the links and stuff and guides are there. So it's pretty straightforward. Just follow the guides. But as I said, don't worry about doing it tonight. If you haven't got it already, it'll still all work fine. So what you'll see when you log into FulGaz on your home screen, everyone should see that Revolve 24 ride channel thumbnail at the top of the screen. If you don't see that, we'll talk about how to fix that in a second, but that's where you need to access all of your rides for the event. So do not go into any other area. If you're doing the 6 hour, the 12 hour, 24 hour, doesn't matter, you go into that channel and you will see your respective rides depending on which category you're in. So here we've got, so yeah, if you can't see the ride channel, you need to go into settings, which when you go back here, there's a little cog in the top right corner. Click on that. That's your settings function. Go in and scroll down until you see promo code in your account area, and then tap on that. And there I've got the promo codes for the different categories. So if you're doing the 6 track, the 12 track, or the 24 hour, you need to put your respective promo code into the field there. So for the 6 track people, it would look like 6 vR24, and then that will show you your set of rides that you need to download prior to the event. So start times. So anyone that's doing the 24 hour challenge, my hat off to you. I can't even fathom doing this for 24 hours. So you guys are made of something else. So congratulations from everyone at the team at FulGaz, because this is a mammoth effort that you're undertaking. And, no matter how far you get, just putting yourself to that sort of challenge is just amazing. So well done. So yeah, 24-hour entrants need to start at these times. So they're the times in the different time zones around the world. So it's plenty of little handy calculators that you can jump on. World Time Buddy is a good one. So you can punch in 8 a.m. at Greenwich Mean Time at London, and it'll show you where it is in the world, wherever you're riding from. So everyone that's doing the 24-hour needs to be present at the start line, our virtual start line, a few minutes before then. The ride will count down so that everyone will be released on course at the same time. So it's like a virtual flag dropping, if you like. Everyone will be, can't start earlier, can't start later. It's just, for 24-hour guys, you need to be on time and manage your time accordingly. For the 12 track and 6 track entrants, you can start at any time after this start time. So, an hour later, 2 hours later, whatever it is, but you need to make sure that you manage your time as well. So you've got to get through your course in the fastest time. You need to allow time to do that. So what you don't want to be, if you're a 12 track and a 6 track entrant, is on the course at the finishing time. So speaking of finishing times, obviously 24 hours after the start times makes sense. Like I said, if you're a 6 track and a 12 track entrant, you'll be classified as a DNF if you're on track at 8 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time on the Sunday. David Fell, did you want to reiterate anything on that point? No?
Is he on mute there? I'm not sure. I can't see him at the moment.
Okay, we'll come back to him. So the other thing to note with the finishing time, which is also really important, is that FulGaz won't automatically stop at the finishing time. So there's a bit of a honesty system in that you need to just stop at that particular time. However, in saying that, it's not really an honesty system, because we'll be using a timestamp from the system to calculate, especially for the 24-hour people, what distance you'd done at the timestamp at the finish time. So we will have that data in the back end. So essentially it's just wasted energy if you keep riding. So you need to keep an eye on your clock and finish at the 8 a.m. if you're in London, 1 a.m. if you're in Denver, and 7 p.m. if you're in Australia. So the goal, like I mentioned, so for the 24-hour period, the results are based on a cumulative distance. So it's how far you can go in 24 hours, and the leaderboard will reflect that. And for the 12 and 6-track entrants, it's how quickly you can complete the 12 and 6-track courses, which we'll talk to in a second. So these results will be time orientated rather than distance orientated. And the text is cut off the screen there for some reason, but it's important to note, and you guys will all know this, that, you know, if you're doing the 24-hour event, even the 6 or the 12-track events, you know, you need to be physically fit and have trained sufficiently for this sort of exercise. So make sure you're ready to go. So do's and don'ts. So make sure you have the latest version of FulGaz prior to the event, which is FulGaz 4. Download all of the tracks prior to starting. So this is super important. You don't want to be streaming any of the rides while you're doing it during the event, because if your internet drops out or something happens, then you're going to be in a world of pain. So make sure that every track is downloaded once. So you only need to download each track once. So you don't need to download it multiple times, just the once is fine. And as I said before, make sure it's from the Revolve24 ride channel. The other really important thing is to make sure that you ride the stages in numerical sequence. So do not skip ahead and choose to do whatever you want to do. You need to do them in numerical sequence. Otherwise, the leaderboard won't calculate properly, and you will probably have to award you a DNF. So make sure you follow that. Ride each stage only once. So if you're riding in a team, it's super important to make sure you talk to your teammates about who's doing what. And I believe the guys from Revolve have put together a planner for just that communication piece to make sure you know who's doing what stage and when they're doing it. And most importantly, have fun. As Aidan is here, he's one of our ride engineers that works really hard behind the scenes to make sure these rides are enjoyable for everyone. So what you don't want to do is go back and rewrite any of the stages. So if you felt like you could have done better on a stage, posted a faster time or what have you, don't go and rewrite it, because we'll default to the slowest time if that happens. So again, it's all about that competition integrity and making sure that we are watching, you know, what people are doing. Leaderboards. So there's a leaderboard for each respective race category. They'll be available on the Revolve24 event website. So these update in real time. There's maybe a 20-second or so lag between the what's happening in the virtual world and on the leaderboard, but you'll be able to see that as you go throughout the event. For teams, your team name will appear alongside, and then alongside that will be the gender makeup of your team. So if it's a male team, female team, mixed team, and then also in brackets the number of people in your team. So if it's 4, you'll see the number 4, 6, 2, whatever it is. So the important thing here for everyone, whether you're in a team or doing this solo, is to make sure that you finish each ride. So you'll get to the end of the ride, it will say, you know, finish ride. You'll see a pop-up dialogue box say that. Make sure you finish it completely, otherwise it won't register on the leaderboard properly. All right, so solo RAM qualifications. So for the people that are doing the 24-hour event, this is a qualification for RAM, and these are the key criteria. So for the male soloists, you'll need to complete a minimum of 600 kilometres in the 24-hour period. For female soloists, you'll need to complete a minimum of 550 kilometres in a 24-hour period. You need to be running it on a smart trainer so that the gradients do change. And then you need to have your weigh-in video sent to the guys at Revolve24 no more than 2 days prior to the event. And as I said, on Wednesday this week, I think it is, there'll be a more detailed rider manual come out. So just make sure you go through that in great detail to make sure you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's with that one. Riding a team. So like I said before, communication is going to be key to success when you're riding as a team. So you can only have one team member on course at any one time, and the tracks must be ridden in sequential order. So any questions as we go through, you can fire them at me or David as well. But yeah, if you're riding as a team, you need to make sure you're communicating with each other. Troubleshooting, I'll hand this over to Clem.
Alrighty, so just a quick question in the chat is, can you swap team riders mid-track? No. If you're riding a track, you have to finish that track and then hand over to the next person in your team. So you can't sort of ride halfway through the Nürburgring, get off and get the next person to pick up where you left off. It doesn't really work that way. You have to ride that whole track. So a bit of troubleshooting just in case. Normally things run perfectly smooth, but it's always good to know, have a bit of background just in case something goes wrong. So first of all, if your devices aren't connecting, they're probably connected to something else. Say you run Ruby or Zwift or even your Garmin, that can actually stop the Bluetooth connection from being found by FulGaz. So if there's no Bluetooth being picked up, disconnect everything else, switch it all off, turn your Bluetooth off and back on again on your iPad or Windows device, and then refresh the connection on FulGaz, and that should usually get it coming through. So just checking the time, make sure we don't run over. If the resistance don't change according to what you see on screen, this is usually just a simple thing. It's just a matter of turning your trainer off and back on again. They can build up a few sort of residual commands over time if they're not switched off from the wall, and just switching them off from power does that. And also make sure that the firmware on your trainer is up to date. So video playback, this is probably, if you only do one thing between now and the event, it's download the 6 videos. Or if you're in a team, download the videos that you need to do. I can't stress that more than I need to. Really, really, really download those videos a day or two beforehand, because that just takes out another variable. It takes stress off your internet connection. It takes stress off your device, and it just makes the process run so much smoother. So if you do have an issue mid-ride, say you're riding along and it freezes, or your battery on your iPad runs out and you have to restart FulGaz, don't worry. When you go back to FulGaz, go back to that ride, it'll give you the option to pick up where you left off. There'll be start from the beginning or resume from your position. Tap that resume from your position and just carry on to the end of the course. So what's the next one? Internet connection. You definitely want to make sure you have a strong internet connection for this. Your ride position on course is updated to the server every 20 or so seconds. So if you don't have internet, your position isn't going to be updated. Your position on the leaderboard isn't going to be updated, and it's just going to throw everything out. So make sure you've got a stable and strong internet connection. Test that during the week. Go out and buy an extender if you need to. Just do what you can. Move your trainer somewhere else. Make sure you've got that stable internet. And for ride modes, always make sure you set in reactive. So there's reactive, steady, and challenge. Challenge, you can ride against someone else. It's for sort of one-on-one stuff. Steady plays video at the standard rate, and reactive is the one which goes to your effort. All the VRAM rides should default to reactive and lock you in that, but just check, just to make sure. And competition integrity. So in FulGaz, regularly, you can change your weight, you can change your bike weight, you can change your aerodynamics, you can change your rolling resistance, you can mess with sort of power settings. But for competitions, that's all locked in. The only thing you can change is your weight, and then all the other settings are all locked in, and you all put on a virtual sort of fast aero road bike. Sort of the aerodynamics are all modeled around you being on a really fast road bike in a really aero position. So don't worry too much about that. You can change your slope scalings. So if the hills feel like super, super tough, you can bring down your slope scalings a little bit. And that's just like going from like a 28 to a 32 cog on the back. It doesn't make you any faster. It just makes you the ability to spin up the hills rather than grind up them. What was that say? Do the rides have the correct number of track loops set? Yes, so each ride will just play once. So they all go for roughly an hour. You'll kick it off and it will just do the number of laps, I think So like Laguna circuit, I think is 10 laps. And then it'll stop. It'll say, well done, finish the ride, tap save, tap upload data, and then move on to the next one. So we've got about a minute 30 before this ride kicks off. So if you're on your turbo, you probably sort of start spinning away, maybe warm up a little bit. I can see a few people spinning away there, which is good. I'm going to turn my fan back on in a minute. So yeah, like I say, any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll run through a few tips as well during the event. We might hear from David if he's got anything to add. I'm not sure. We'll see. He's on mute at the moment, but he'll have to unmute himself if he wants to say anything. I'll reach over there, tap the fan. Hey, David, how you doing?
Am I unmuted?
That's all right.
Yeah.
Good to have you along, though.
I'd just like to say, I think we have online as well Hugh and Vicky from Revolt24 in the UK.
Oh, nice.
So welcome Hugh and Vicky. And I do believe that we have our two commentators, or at least one of our commentators, watching the session. Russ, I think Russ is online.
Yeah.
And so everybody's getting used to the whole thing and how it'll all work. And I think you've covered the main point. So I've nothing really to add. I mean, I could hit off one or two of the questions in the chat. Somebody's
Beautiful.
saying, how do you actually download on the app? This is Jessica Burgess. Jessica, you go into the track itself. So tap on, say, Silverstone, and it'll bring up the track. And then you'll see the download button in that section there. And then you download that track. Hope that helps.
Also, Jez was just saying, should we be on a particular ride tonight? There is a test ride at the bottom. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to see a test ride there, which is just this Silverstone circuit. So we picked a nice, easy couple of laps to do around here, nice and flat. So you guys can ask questions in the chat or unmute yourselves and ask a question if it's a bit easier. But yeah, we'll try and stick to the chat.
So Harold, you might need the update ride list. If you go to settings, so that cog in the top right-hand corner, tap on that, scroll all the way down, it's down the bottom. Tap on that, restart FulGaz, and then the Revolve folder should appear. So if you're riding at the moment, you should see, if you're on version 4, you probably can't really see my screen, but you should have the bike computer, you should have a little line map there showing everyone's position, and you should have the position of everyone on the right-hand side. So for this test event, we actually had to set up 3 test events, a separate one for 24-hour, 12-hour, and 6-hour competitors. So you might not see as many as you'd think on screen, depending on which one. I think I'm logged in as a 24-hour, so I can see a fair few people on screen now. There's probably maybe at least 13 on there, so that's pretty good. So a couple of tips. One thing, apart from downloading the ride videos that I really, really recommend, is making sure your trainer and your device, your iPad, your laptop, make sure all updates have been applied before that. The last thing you want to do is get to midnight and then your laptop decides that it needs to install some important updates and you lose 2 or 3 hours because it's sitting there ticking away installing updates. So definitely you want to rule out every last variable, especially if you're sitting there for 24 hours, you don't want anything to go wrong. So make sure everything is up to date. So someone says, I can't see anyone else. Are you on version 4 of FulGaz or just running the regular version 3? You'll know, do you have the bike computer? That's the way you'll know you're on version 4. So the test event should be right down the bottom. If you go to Revolve24 folder, tap on that, scroll down, the test event should be down the bottom. Oh yeah, so Caroline, if you don't have the bike computer, you're probably on the regular version. We'll pop some more links into that chat with the link to how to get version 4. Don't do it now. Maybe just do it tomorrow morning or sometime. Can you talk through handovers between relay riders? So this is something you'll need to sort of chat with your team about. Say the first person kicks off at, I think it was at 7 o'clock London time. They'll ride the course. When they're done, they'll either need to call the next person or text them or have a WhatsApp group set up. Communication is super, super important for those teams. So whoever's riding that first course, smash it out, hit save, hit upload, and then get straight on the phone to your next competitor, teammate, sorry, and let them know you finished. They can jump on, start riding the second course. Is it Russ? I think it's Russ. Which event are you doing? The 6, the 12, or the 24?
I'm not doing either. I'm one of the commentators and would like to be able to see everybody if I can.
Yes.
I say commentator. Can I just point out, commentator is a little bit of a big word. Kind of say what I see, and there's a lot to see out there. I've got to be honest, there's a lot of people out there doing stuff some of you shouldn't be doing. Say no more. But I can't see anybody on the course. I want to, apparently when I'm doing this, I can jump onto anybody's bike. So it'll be like a virtual crossy.
Yes, we'll have to add you. Like, we might need to add your account to sort of coach mode, and then you'll be able to tap and change and go around.
I think that's been done, but I'm still not.
Beth, I'll check it out while we're going. Mine's having the same drama, so I'll check it out and get back to you.
It's not just me. Thanks, Beck.
Cool. No worries. It's not something I've actually played with at the moment, so we'll definitely get that working though, and you'll be able to see everyone. You'll be able to tap on, say, my name, check out how few watts I'm putting out, and then tap on someone else.
That'd be great.
It's really cool.
That'd be great. Yeah, and if you're putting out less than everybody else, I'll make sure everybody else knows.
It's all right. It's all about watts per kilo, right? Watts per kilo.
Apparently so.
Not on this course. This one is super flat, but there are some tough courses here. Yeah, definitely be prepared, especially like the Nürburgring has some pretty steep climbs. There's one well over 20%. Laguna race circuit, that climb each lap really saps your energy. It's a tough circuit, so definitely be prepared for those. Another thing, talking of being prepared, make sure everything's charging. Make sure your iPad's plugged in. Make sure if you've got Di2, make sure you've charged your Di2 battery. Make sure your power meter's charged. Anything that runs in battery, have it plugged in. So you want to rule out that variable as well. I'm experiencing something freezes. I can't quite read that, sorry. I should have brought my laptop a bit closer. We'll go through that. We'll see what else is happening. I'm not getting any power data showing on my screen. I haven't had this issue before. It might be that the connection has dropped out between the time you sort of set it up and the time you kicked off. Might be one that you need to go back out, reconnect, come back in. Also, if any of you are on an iOS device like me on the iPad, you can see that little line map there, which you probably can't see me pointing at because it'd be really small. If you double tap on that, it changes. And then you double tap on it again, and you can see the whole course, and you can see everyone on course, where their position is. And you can sort of hold it down, drag it around to wherever you need it to be, out the way down there or right in the center, whatever takes your fancy. Pop it there. I like it down in that corner. Yeah. Another little tip for iPad and iPhone users, if you are mirroring that to a bigger TV, sorry, make sure you use an Apple adapter, like an Apple branded one. They contain a little microchip, which converts everything from the iOS software to your TV. And if you just buy a knockoff or a cheap unbranded one, they can have real problems converting that signal. You get hazy looking screens, you get dropouts. Spend the money, get an Apple one. It's definitely worth it.
Russ, can you go, if you exit the ride and go back in, you might be able, it's working on mine now, so just have a try. Colin, what are you doing? You are...
Not enough. That's what I'm doing. Not enough.
That's 70, am I reading that right? 77 watts?
I hope
132,
not.
there we go. 132, there we go.
Yeah, I'm only doing a few. This is a super flat circuit, this one. However, if you're in a team and you pick this circuit, it's your lucky day. It's a good one. Yeah, like I said, some of them are super tough, super hilly, just up and down like a saw blade. This one's nice and rolling. Good one for the rollers or anyone who puts out a lot of power.
Harold, enter the promo code, updated rider list, but I don't see the rides. Already started FulGaz 4 and it didn't help. Harold, do you want to send me your registered email address just via the chat, just a private chat, and I'll look into your profile on the back end? How you going, Russ? Can you see anything?
I can kind of see some things, but not very much. Possibly just need to get the iPad. It says there's 21 riders there, and I can only see about 5 of them.
Okay, that's weird.
And I'm desperately trying to scroll down or do something. I mean, some people are putting out a lot of watts. Not me, obviously. Not me.
All right, let me have a look. Yeah. Just also double, Beck, if you're having a look at Russ's account too, just check he's sort of signed in as the 24-hour VR, not like the 6 or the 12 maybe.
Yeah.
Somebody's just overtaken me. That's slightly upsetting. I'm pleased to say it's not Hugh, though.
Yeah, so these test events are a good chance, especially if you're new to FulGaz, just to test out your setup. See how the hills feel, see how the descents feel. Make sure that your trainer is communicating well with FulGaz. It's a good time to sort out any issues. So if you do have an issue, you can shoot through a support ticket and we'll have plenty of time to answer that during the week and have you sorted before the main event.
So it looks like you're set up in 24, in the 24 group, Russ. So my only suggestion is maybe.
I think I've got it. I think I've got it. It wasn't ride. I'm in the press the button that says watch rather than ride.
Ah, beautiful.
Now I can jump onto.
Perfect.
I'm riding with O Bowden at the moment. I don't know who that is, but he's doing okay, or she. Probably didn't even notice me jumping on there.
No, as in the coach mode, it doesn't show if you're watching someone, it doesn't let them know. So you can just spy on them and make sure they're putting out enough power. Give them a few words of encouragement, or heckle them, depending on how you feel.
We'll see what the time of day is.
So for the 6/12 track, is it elapsed time or course times calculated? So the goal for 6 and 12 is to ride those 6 or 12 courses as fast as you possibly can within that time limit. So you need to get through those 6 or 12 courses in that time limit, and then it's sort of fastest time wins. There'll be more information on that in the rider pack. Sorry, Beck.
Sorry, it'll be the cumulative time from each course will be added up on the leaderboard, so that'll be the fastest. So.
Can I just add there? It's the 6 and the 12 track are course time, and the 24-hour is elapsed time.
So the 24-hour, David, that's just the number of kilometers they get through in that 24-hour period, right?
Yeah. So the clock's always ticking.
Yes.
On the 24-hour. So even during, it takes into account the changeover from track to track, whether you take a break during that changeover. So it's totally elapsed time for the 24-hour.
Nice. So you can't have a nice little nap in the middle and hope the clock stops.
No. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Miles, looking good here. Good to hear. Good to hear. It's a good chance to make sure everything's working, set up. Make sure your body's set up as well. You know, test anything out. Make sure you got plenty of water on board. It's a long ride. 24 hours is a long time. Miles, you're doing the 24-hour event solo, I'm pretty sure. I think I remember you saying. Certainly hats off to you.
No, I'm not doing that. Hats off to those who are. I'm doing this 6-hour relay.
Oh, yeah.
I've done the Brands Hatch event.
Yes.
For real. As a team of 6 last year and the year before. So this year we're doing 6 hours, 2 of us. Try and be as competitive as we can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so you have to just make sure you communicate really well with your team. You know, ride your course as soon as you're done, or even if you can, just before, be like on the phone to them, go, oh, just about to finish, just about to tap upload. And then as soon as you're done, they can jump on, start smashing it. It's like a really good time. Yeah, communication, really key.
We use Discord. I recommend that to anyone as an app for just audio channel between us.
Yeah, definitely. If you can set up Discord and you can sort of be cheering the other person on as they're riding, and then get the timing right so they ride when you finished and whatnot. Really handy.
Definitely more heckling than cheering, but yeah, we'll be doing a lot of that.
Whatever makes you pedal harder, you know?
Yeah. Pedal dead hard.
Yeah. Make sure you get a giant fan, of course. That'll make a world of difference.
Yeah, the fan's going already. You know, it's I'm in the UK, so it's not too well. It's a bit mild at the moment, but
no.
Yeah, the temperature will be fine in the garage.
Yeah. Are you locked down over there? Or you're sort of okay?
Yeah, we're in full lockdown for another couple of weeks.
Oh,
so
lucky you got FulGaz to keep you going.
Yeah. Anything like this is great. Just have a goal.
I just checked. Phil Xavier, hello mate, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent, jolly good. So I can literally talk to you. You're doing okay. There's a few people over to your right. You've upped your revs a little bit, which is good to see. And you're pushing out some decent watts. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I look forward to it.
Yeah, and you're in Manchester, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Yeah, well, don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. Don't lick it. You stay on that bike. All right.
Okay.
Don't be spreading your down here.
Oh,
So,
what's it between friends?
just quickly, Shah.
Say nothing.
Hang on a second. Shah saying she's looking at the roster and she's seeing that some of the people repeat a video or repeat a course. that's fine. You can ride the same course, just not, you have to ride them in order. So say Nürburgring appears first and seventh. You can ride the first one and the seventh one, that's fine. It's not, you can't have one person ride the first one and then go back and ride the first one. Definitely don't do that.
Right. That's right. It'll be in order. It just, because of our availability, we're only able to do certain times, which may mean that they'll be back on repeating the same course.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as long as they're happy to do Laguna twice, you know, that's fine.
That could be me.
Have a good rest between.
Any 24-hour people doing it solo in here? Hands up. Crazy people.
Hey, there's Matthew. He's waving. Is it Aileen up the top there?
Bill's doing it, also crazy. I'm just saying that because I wouldn't be able to do it. But
there's no way I could do it. That's well, I mean, I couldn't be competitive. I could probably do it, but that's off to you. It's longer than I've ever spent on a turbo trainer. So definitely, you've got some mental strength. Harold's doing it too. Good stuff.
I'm going to try doing 12 days.
Oh.
Brad and I did the virtual ram in the summer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a big one, that's for sure.
Yeah, 2,500 miles.
Well, hats off to you, that's for sure, Aaron. Did you have a nice setup, or were you in your garage, or did you sort of have somewhere nice, something nice to...
I was in the kitchen for 12 days.
Close to the fridge. I've got to be happy with that.
Yeah. Any reason why my setup keeps freezing?
Is the ride downloaded?
I haven't downloaded them at the minute. I was just doing a test event.
Yeah,
but it just keeps freezing.
Yeah, it's probably that it's trying to buffer, especially if your ride quality is set to 4K. Those videos are huge, which is why we always recommend, especially for events, download them a couple of days in advance. There's only 6 tracks.
Yeah. No,
they all double up. So for 24 hours, you don't need to download like 24 tracks. It's always just the 6 sets of tracks.
One quick question. With the ones where you're doing multiple laps of the same course.
Yes.
Do you have to upload every one?
No. It'll
when you get to the end of the lap, or will it just loop?
It'll keep looping until it's done. So it knows 6 laps, and then it will say finish ride, upload. Yeah. All good. It's nice and simple for you. We've tried to make it simple as possible.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that was a bit of a problem with downloading 200 segments for RAM.
Yes, definitely.
It made it quite tough at times.
Mm-hmm. So Jez has just said, do you have to ride them in order? Yes, definitely, 100% ride them in order. Yeah, another big one. If I can say one more thing, ride them in order. So Phil, so the App Store just has the current release version 3, because the version 4 is still sort of hidden away in beta. It works perfectly fine, but it just hasn't been released just yet. Beck will chuck some more links into the chat about how to download version 4, and you can sort of pop on and do that tomorrow at your own leisure. Yeah, it's available across all devices now.
Cool, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, Caroline's just asked about version 3 as well. How do they do version 4? That's on an email link, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the chat. At the very top of the chat link, if you scroll to the top, there's a link there that you can follow.
Cool.
How to download FulGaz 4.
We'll pop it in a follow-up email to this as well, just so everyone's got it, just to be sure. It's definitely worth it. You get the countdown, you get the riders on screen, you get the little map, like computer. Well worth doing. Or Google FulGaz 4 apparently works as well. Thanks, Jeff. They might not be able to scroll up if they joined late, so it might be just worth popping that back in again.
The other thing is that obviously I'm zooming from one device and I'm downloading it to another. So if you could email it, I think that would be better for everyone.
No problem. Yeah, talking about that with Zoom on one device and everything. If you are running FulGaz on one device, try not to run anything else for this event at least, and for the real thing. Try not to run anything else in the background. If possible, if you want to run a music app or anything else, a video app, try and do it on a separate device. It shouldn't cause problems, but it's just one more variable that could cause a problem. So do you have to delete FulGaz 3 before uploading version 4? No. You'll download an app called Test Flight if you're on an Apple device, and that'll just sort of overwrite FulGaz 3. If you're on a Windows device, it's a totally separate app. So you can actually have 3 and 4 installed on the same device. But otherwise, yeah, on Android, Apple TV, and iOS, it'll overwrite FulGaz 3. So you'll just have the one beta app loaded on your phone or your tablet. So just for anyone who did...
If you upgrade 4 from 3, you have to the right where it's safe.
Good question. So if you overwrite FulGaz 3 with FulGaz 4, usually your RIDE downloaded videos do stay, but it can vary from device to device a little bit, depending on how that device handles data. So I can't really say 100% yes, they'll still be there. Some devices we found have overwritten that old data.
Quick question about slope settings.
Yes.
I thought in the master or in the advanced settings, I made a change.
Yes.
I was just experimenting 75 up, 25 down.
Yes.
Because I saw a few people say watt by pattern, that's a pretty good setting. But I just noticed when I'm on the circuit itself, I'm on Windows 10, I just went into the settings and it looks as though the slope was set at 100 and 100. So is that something you have to do per course?
The event can sometimes override them. So it's best to change them just before you go to the course, make sure you check them. And you can also, I'm not sure about Windows 10, but you can tap on the screen on the little cog. Yep. And it will bring up your slope settings and then you can bring them down if you need to. Yep. So you can change those slope settings for events because they don't actually make you faster or slower, they just affect your ride feel. The one thing you can't change, so the slope limit, you can't change. It'll always go, if it sees 20% on screen, it'll always say 20, feed your trainer 20, but the slope scalings you can change.
Perfect, got it. Thanks.
No problem. So yeah, just for anyone who did join a little bit late, there's a download for FulGaz 4 if you haven't got it in the chat bar, and we'll email it out also for those who can't quite reach the chat bar when they're on the trainer. Just to recap a few things, write all the courses in order. If you're on a relay team, one person on course at a time. When you're finished, give the other person a bell, get them to start riding. Communication, download all the videos a few days before, the 6 courses, download them all to your device, because streaming, while it's fine, it's one more variable during an event. So if you were to download all 6 in 4K, that's probably about 60 or 70 gigs worth of data. So trying to stream that's just crazy sometimes. Can do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. In 1080p, it's more like about 10 to 15 gigs for the 6 rides. And down in 720p, it's probably about 5 gigs. So it cuts it right back. If you're low on space, just change your video quality setting to 720p, download them that way. If you've got loads of room and loads of time, download them all in 4K a couple of days in advance. But definitely don't be streaming during the event. It's while it's usually fine, I wouldn't risk it just in case, especially for 24 hours. You don't want to get halfway through your event and you hit your broadband download limit for the month. It slows right down to dial-up speeds, and you're in a world of hurt.
Clem, I'm just sitting on your handlebars.
Oh no!
A bit like a 50-year-old ET. There's only 2 minutes to go. Could you put a bit of effort in, please?
Oh. I blame it on the fact I have to talk as well. You know,
Yeah, that's
I can't.
just we're not home to excuses at the moment, so just put a bit of effort in.
This is a cafe ride, right?
Yeah, yeah, and they've run out of cake.
Oh, I'm going home then.
That's one of those disappointing cafe rides.
So I believe there's going to be a Zoom set up for the event next weekend too. So Russ will be, commentating on it as well. So if you want to have a bit of fun with that and keep your mind off the pain in your legs, that'd be a good way to.
I'm going to need to get an extra cushion. Because
No.
I don't know what you lot are going through, but this chair's not the best. So I'm going to need to just do that occasionally.
Oh,
while
you
you're
just need to get some nice bib shorts. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I have several pairs upstairs. Anyway, up your reps a bit. 132 watts. I'm sure there's people beating that. There's your target. Clem's on 132. We'll have a little sprint finish, couldn't we? Or just mute me.
Yeah, one of the two. I was going to join you next week, but I don't think I will now.
No, you'd be more than welcome. I think you should.
I might join, I think, the first track, sorry. Get my words out, Pen, get your words out. The first track's the Nürburgring, which I haven't ridden on FulGaz before, so I might actually jump on, give it a little hit. Might be fun.
I think you should.
Then after an hour, I'll have dinner and go to bed. Right? That's fine, right?
There's no England-Australia sport next weekend, is there? Apparently we're not allowed to talk politics.
It's not even a contest, is it?
Oh, here we go. That's coming out, right? We'll see.
Well, we beat the All Blacks the other day. Surely we could beat you guys now.
I'd just like to point out the Argentinians beat the All Blacks last night, so don't be throwing that one in there. We beat the All Blacks, so did the Argies. And let's not even go there.
Someone in the chat's just said the Nürburgring is not fun on a motorbike or a push bike. So that's something to look forward to.
I can tell you it's absolutely brilliant in the car when you're racing with 100, 150 other cars. It's awesome.
I'm sure your legs hurt less too.
A little bit, but your head and your brain, it screws you up with all those corners trying to remember them. Sorry, I'm puffing a bit because my good mate Jez, who I raced with a 24-hour at Brands, and last year at the Zample was a 6-hour, has just made me go really fast for a lap. Try and keep up with him. So, and thankfully he's on a team and not pushing me like this.
I got to be honest, Louise, you're absolutely tanking it out there at the moment. So yeah, keep going. There's only 10 minutes to go. There's cake waiting for you if you want some.
Russ, I think on the weekend you should actually have some cake and just be eating it in front of people.
Oh, will be. Oh, and beer. There'll be beer and stuff. Most definitely. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll all be reaching out like this, trying to grab cake. Gonna try get a bit faster. Grab that cake. I reckon I can reach it.
If anybody's got cake, or anybody wants to send me cake, that's absolutely fine. You can send it to me and I can test it live. That'd be good.
Oh.
It has to be homemade.
All right, got some Tesco value cake coming your way.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'll send some from Australia. I can't guarantee it'll be any good by the time it gets there, though.
Louisa, slowed down a little bit, actually. You have. There's no point waving. You go and have it. You have, because it's in front of me. I've got the data. You can't argue with the data. Get up a bit.
Can't hide from the data. Racing solo against a group of 4. That's like a solo versus team time trial. Whew. That's going to be tough. I'm sure you'll smash him, Jeff. Not a problem.
Clem, can Bernard be turned on during the rides?
Yes, I think he can.
Beg your pardon?
There's not really any point to turning him on during the rides because you've got everyone else on screen to sort of compete against. But yeah, you can turn him on, that's no problem.
Just a question that's come in.
Yeah, you definitely can. It should just look like another person in the list, but you should also see Bernard along the top in your elevation chart. Yeah, definitely possible. Russ, I figured I can talk at around about 145 to 150 watts. After that, I get a bit slow.
Yeah. What are you doing at the moment? Let's have a little look. 184 watts, apparently. Yeah. Hang on. I'm getting grief from the boss. Hold on. Yeah, no, it seems to be working quite well, actually, Clem. The whole Zoom and
yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it seems to be. I wouldn't go as far as say faultless, but it is quite good, and you do get quite an insight into what people are doing. I think it's going to be quite interesting next week. And yeah, if anyone's got any backgrounds they would like me to put up and talk about, I've got a few, but or any suggestions, let me know. Clem's just overtaken me. Slightly upset about that.
But I think you should put up a background of some sort of cafe. That'd be quite good, or a bar.
What, for when I'm resting? Just put my feet up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine. And cake, just a big cake. A little bit of motivation for everybody.
Just a bit of background for you. So you spoke to Lee earlier, who did vRAM24. vRAM, virtual RAM early this year. So Lee and I have formed a team to do the relay this year. But we've never met each other, but we have both done vRAM. So the only way we know each other is by watching each other's dots.
That's. Have you seen each other on this, Brad? I take it you've spoken to each other on Zoom or something.
Yeah, a couple of times. Yeah.
So whereabouts in the country are you, or whereabouts in the world are you?
So I'm in Lancashire, north of Manchester. And I think Lee's somewhere down in Gidea Park or Romford or something. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll make sure that that you guys get to know each other a bit better next weekend. You can still follow each other on a dot.
Can I just say that what What we do know about each other is the precise location and size of certain saddle sores. Nothing else.
There'll be none of that. We don't need to see that. Thank you.
It's not going to. I don't think it will happen in 12 hours.
Clem, can you see Johnny's question?
Yeah, I'm just having a read through now. Basically, FulGaz reads power from your trainer. So if your trainer is sending 300 watts, that's what appears on screen. If your trainer is sending 275, that's what appears on screen. It might be an issue that maybe you use a different power meter outdoors and your trainer is reading lower. You can actually, if you use the same bike, or you can switch. If you put your power meter from outdoors on your trainer bike, you can link it up as separate power meter support and use power from your trainer and then trainer control from your trainer and get the same power indoors and outdoors. If it's something else, if I've read that wrong, send me a support ticket with those details and as much detail as you can, and I'll try and work through it that way. If a rider stops during a stage and can't continue, yeah, that's the next rider.
You don't have the option to do that.
Yeah, so if a rider stops halfway through and can't continue, then someone else will need to jump on and start that stage again.
Yeah, you won't be able to ride from where they stopped. You'll have to ride the whole stage again. That's the only real time you can double up on a stage anyway, is if that rider, say, gets halfway through, has an injury or something, has to stop, then the next person can do that stage from the beginning again. And we'll sort out any timing issues that might appear by that.
David, is that right?
Yeah, that is right. I think it's important to say for the person who can't continue and has to stop during the stage for whatever reason, domestic emergency or whatever, that they shouldn't upload the ride.
Yeah.
So do not upload the ride. Just text or get in touch with your teammates, and one of those starts that ride from the very beginning. So that's the only way to get around that one.
It's probably worth shooting us an email as well if that does happen, just so we can, just double check that all your data's right and nothing's gone a bit crazy because of the whole double up. So yeah, if there's an emergency like that, start from the beginning, shoot us an email. We'll sort it all out. There'll be no dramas.
But if you're riding a stage and FulGaz, stops working or does something a bit weird, you can exit out of the app, fully exit out of it, go back into it. If you click the same ride, as long as it's all the same rider doing this, you can resume the ride where you left off if it's a technical issue with FulGaz. So
there's a message coming from the hook. I'm not interested in what the message says personally. I'm interested in what the hook is. Is it the pub? Is it a secret society trying to take over the world? What's the hook? Are they on Zoom? I can't even see them on my Zoom. Is it just? It seems to have come in on the chat. The hook, are you there?
I don't think he's on Zoom. I think he'll come up on the chat in a minute. Carolyn has said you're dual recording. Does that mean you're getting the power on a handheld device as well as your kicker? Because you can actually send the power from, there we go, I can see you now. You can actually, in FulGaz 4, you can hook up your power meter to FulGaz 4. You need to go into settings, and then I think advanced settings, and enable separate power meter support. And then when you restart FulGaz, you'll be able to connect your power meter as power source and your kicker as trainer control. And then you'll get that correct power from your power meter, and you'll get resistance control from your kicker.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
I can see them now, and Vicky's explained who the hook are. Some guys from Holland, I believe. Which would make sense.
Stephen, switch over after you've uploaded the ride. So upload the ride, text your teammate, get them to jump on.
Okay.
To update FulGaz 4 on Windows 10, should we delete it first? It's a separate app, FulGaz 4 on Windows 10, so you could actually have both installed on your device. Personally, I'd just delete FulGaz 3, as long as you've got a backup of all your ride history on Strava or whatever. Just delete version 3, install version 4, and happy days.
On my screen at the minute, all the metrics are working. The image is just frozen. So I take it, if it comes to it, it's not going to make any odds as far as recording the actual ride, because I'm not looking at anything.
Sorry, come again? I couldn't really hear you, sorry.
Okay, but all the metrics are working, as in speed, power, time, gradient, but the actual image has just stopped. So I'm just staring at people going under a bridge.
Did you
been for about the last 10 minutes.
Sure. Did you download the ride?
I've downloaded the route. Yeah, I've done that.
Did you download it sort of in advance, or just like sort of just before you started riding?
I downloaded it probably about 10, 15 minutes ago. So is it likely that it hasn't fully downloaded yet?
Possibly. It's hard to say for sure, but yeah, it's either hasn't downloaded, so it's hit that buffer point and then can't get any further, or or the download's been corrupted. Maybe it's lost connection to the server for a minute or something.
So in the summer, I didn't have a problem at all, but then that was because I took an Ethernet cable straight into the back of the Apple TV box that I've been using.
Yeah, that'll definitely make a difference.
Is that
yeah.
Right.
If you can do that.
Maybe I'm going to be drilling a hole at some point this week through the wall back into the lounge.
I mean, if you can.
Because now I'm stuck in the garage. I'm no longer allowed to ride in the kitchen.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, definitely anything you can do to make your connection more stable is definitely recommended for an event like this, a long-term event.
Yeah.
Carolyn, about Apple TV, I don't actually know. I think so. My Apple TV is sitting here, gone to Apple TV heaven for some reason, so I can't actually test that. But
it's fine. The only thing with Apple TV is they say that when we did the event in the summer, because of the amount of routes that you happen to download, it takes up a fair amount of like memory. So obviously the Apple TV is only 32 gig, and the advice was to obviously delete some of the rides that you've downloaded to create more space. So every couple of days, that's what I was doing. Sort of first thing in the morning was going into the settings and deleting some of the history, so as not to jam it up. But it worked fine.
Cool. And that separate power meter support, you'll have to double check. I'm not 100% sure about Apple TV, sorry. I haven't actually checked that one.
Okay, I'm going to give it a try now. Thank you.
Cool. Otherwise, definitely works on Windows 10, definitely works on iOS. But yeah, I haven't had the chance to try Apple TV, sorry.
Okay, I guess worst comes to the worst, I could run FulGaz from my laptop rather than Apple TV.
Yeah, and then you can always get a HDMI cable, little adapter, run it to your TV that way.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Jez. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, G&T, that sounds nice.
I would say it's a bit early for that, but it depends on which part of the world he's in, I guess. What's the time where you are, Beck?
It is 9:10 in the evening.
Saturday evening?
Saturday evening. Had to think
Oh,
about that.
How strictly?
Okay.
I don't. It's not even on here on Saturday. I don't know.
Oh, that's where you guys are missing right out.
Yeah.
Bake Off. That's all you need in your life, I tell you.
Oh, yeah, I know. My parents sit down and watch that. They live over in England. Sit down and watch Strictly on a Saturday night.
I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Motzi's out. Anton's come in. Nicola's out. I don't know if they're going to get rid of people. I'll update you.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll update you. In fact, we could do that next week. Those people that can't see, I'll do some commentary on Strictly. They'll love it.
Can you put Strictly as your background?
Of course I can.
Oh, there we go. I'm there. I'd ride the Nürburgring just to see that.
Excellent. Yeah, no, we can fill you in on Strictly next week.
What about EastEnders or something like that?
No, that just doesn't happen in my this house. It's banned. EastEnders. It's not real. Again, for you Australians, it's not a documentary. Just to let you know, it's not. No, it really is. Unlike Neighbours, which is clearly what it's all about.
We could put Neighbours on for you if you like.
Yeah, only if Kylie's back in it. That was
Kylie. That was a while ago.
That was when it was proper.
Harold, yes, basically yes. You'll ride one course, hit end ride when it finishes, upload the ride, select the next course, number 2, ride that. It'll finish, upload, select ride number 3, and so on and so forth for 24 hours. So yeah, definitely ride them in order, finish each one, upload it, choose the next one.
Bake Off miles, you reckon? That's just going to make everyone hungry, isn't it?
Bake Offs again. I'm with Miles. Strictly a Bake Off. That's all you need. I might do some baking next week. I might do a live Bake Off. There it goes. I might cook something, and then test it. I could be Paul Hollywood. Got the beard going.
Guess that's the other thing too.
How am I doing, Russ? Russ, I need an update from the team car. What's happening?
Yeah, 198 watts, 87 RPM, and you're going slightly downhill.
Oh, that's good.
Get a bit of a wiggle on, to be honest. There's a bloke in front of you. See if you can overtake him. Yeah, no, all good.
It's so wrong to do this all the time on Saturday. This is my Saturday night every week. It's how I roll.
Well, just in lockdown or every week?
Oh, every week. I'm in Tasmania. We don't have lockdown. We're locked on the island, so that's enough.
Tasmania?
Country.
Are you in the same place, Beck? Are you in Tasmania as well?
No, I'm in Melbourne, so we've just come out of the hardest lockdown in the world.
Oh. Have you actually? The hardest lockdown in the world was somewhere like Indonesia or something, and if you went out, they shot you, which I thought was a bit extreme.
It wasn't that hard, but it was close.
No. So wind your neck in. It's not that bad. Have you two actually met, Beck and Clement?
No, we've only ever Zoomed and worked together via Zoom. So.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
I'm flying up next month. So yeah.
Cool.
We're going to have a Christmas party next month.
Is there anything else you have to do for the FulGaz end?
Sorry, Dave. Yes, definitely brownie points for wearing a well-loved Revolve jersey.
So as far as satisfying as a RAM qualifier, you just have to be on a smart trainer, like a modern smart trainer. There'll be more information in the rider pack, which will come out on Wednesday, I believe. Dave might be able to confirm that. I'm not sure about heart rate. That's one for Dave. But nothing else really from the FulGaz end. We take care of all the settings and everything, so it locks you in to the right bike settings. No dramas.
No, you're right, Clem. Sending the weigh-in video and then more than 2 days before the event and doing the qualifying distance are the two main criteria. riding the smart trainer is, of course, is essential. And and then once the 24 hours finished, FulGaz will send us a time-stamped file of all the data, and we'll confirm that's all okay, and then that'll make it the official result from the provisional result. Then we'll forward that to Race Across America. Hope that answers the question, Harold.
I'm on the home straight,
Harold,
so I've just got to.
Sorry, Clem. Harold, can you just confirm which event you're registered in, so I can make sure you've got the right courses? Thanks.
I take it having a scar on your neck in Tasmania is some kind of local in-joke thing?
Second head removal joke.
Right, gotcha.
I'm an import, so I wasn't born here.
Yeah.
That's why coronavirus didn't do well down there.
Yeah. Oh, that was good fun. Good work to everyone who completed that one, is still out there pedaling away. So you can really just put your head down and pedal on that one a little bit.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. Obviously, keep riding if you're still on course, but we're over time now anyway. So, any dramas between now and I would say next Friday at the latest, you need to be putting in a support ticket, and we'll get you all sorted and ready to go. Download the rides. There'll be the ride manual coming out Wednesday this week, I think. So have a look through that. Also, the guys from Revolve have sent out a couple of emails. The last one was yesterday, which had all of the steps on how to get onto FulGaz 4. So maybe check your emails for that. There's obviously the link in this chat as well, but just check your emails. But yeah, any dramas, just hit us up on support, which you can get through the FulGaz website. Obviously, our goal is to make sure everyone is ready to roll for next weekend and has a fun time. So best of luck to everyone. And I'm just going to tune in just to chat with Russ, I think. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I might do that as well. We'll see. I might ride, but I don't know. So yeah, like
I might put a load of Strictly and Bake Off on and just walk away. I think that keeps everybody happy.